My beloved child. It's finally over. The chapter that kept your heart waiting far longer than you expected has quietly reached its ending, even if no one has spoken the words out loud yet. Somewhere, a piece of news has just landed before the person connected to your journey, and it has shifted something deep within them. They can no longer look at yesterday the same way. Stay with me for a moment. What seems ordinary on the surface is hiding an unexpected turning point beneath it. They believed one path would continue forever, but life had another direction prepared. The silence you've been feeling was never empty, it was the space where change was gathering strength. As this unfolds, clarity will come. The answers you've searched for are beginning to arrange themselves, one by one, in ways you could never predict. And before this message reaches its final moment, remember this. Something huge is waiting for you. There was a time when everything felt uncertain. Every delay created another question, and every unanswered feeling seemed heavier than the last. Yet today's energy carries a completely different message. The news they received wasn't simply information, it became a mirror. For the first time, they were forced to pause and recognize what truly mattered. The things that once distracted them suddenly lost their importance. Strange moments, forgotten memories, and conversations they ignored are now returning to their mind with surprising clarity. This may resonate as we continue. Because sometimes life doesn't create change through loud announcements. Sometimes everything changes in a single quiet realization that only the heart can hear. What makes this moment extraordinary isn't the news itself. It's what the news awakened inside them. They are beginning to understand that some connections cannot be measured by time or distance. Every unexpected coincidence, every unanswered question, every emotional twist has quietly been preparing this very point. Imagine standing before a door that seemed permanently locked, only to discover it was never locked at all, it simply wasn't time to open it. That is the feeling surrounding this story. The ending you've been expecting isn't an ending of hope. It's the ending of confusion. The ending of waiting without direction. And when confusion disappears, new possibilities appear faster than anyone expects. The most surprising part has not happened yet. As their thoughts continue to settle, another realization is slowly approaching. It is gentle, but impossible to ignore. They are beginning to see your value in a way they never fully understood before. Not because someone convinced them, but because experience became the greatest teacher. The pieces are connecting naturally now, almost like a puzzle revealing its hidden picture. Nothing feels forced anymore. Everything feels intentional. Every challenge, every delay, every unexpected turn has quietly built toward this exact moment. The story is no longer asking whether change is possible. It is revealing that change has already begun. So before you leave, hold on to this thought. The title of this journey isn't about an ending filled with loss. It's about the ending of uncertainty and the beginning of remarkable clarity. The news your soulmate just received has become the first domino, and every piece after it is beginning to move. You may not see every detail today, but the direction is becoming impossible to ignore. Stay with me for a moment, because what comes next reaches even deeper than today's revelation. As this unfolds, clarity will come. This may resonate as we continue. The next chapter holds a discovery that completely changes how this entire story is understood, and that moment is closer than anyone realizes. A quiet shift has already begun, and this is where the story becomes impossible to ignore. The news that reached your soulmate did more than change a single moment, it changed the way they see their own future. What once felt certain now feels incomplete. What they confidently walked away from now keeps returning to their thoughts. Stay with me for a moment. The most powerful transformations rarely happen in front of a crowd. They happen in silence, where no applause exists, only truth. Every unanswered question they carried is slowly leading them toward a realization they never expected. As this unfolds, clarity will come. And before we move further, if you're enjoying this journey, take a second to share this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us which part has connected with you the most. Your support allows these stories to reach more people who may need this message today. Something unexpected is happening inside their heart. Instead of searching for new answers, they have started revisiting old memories. Small conversations they once overlooked now feel meaningful. Tiny moments they barely noticed now seem impossible to forget. It's almost as if life has quietly placed every missing piece back onto the table, inviting them to see the complete picture for the very first time. This may resonate as we continue. Because sometimes the greatest surprise is not discovering something new, it's finally understanding what has been in front of you all along. Every delay now makes sense. Every pause now carries purpose. The ending you feared has quietly become the beginning you never imagined. The most surprising revelation is still unfolding. They are beginning to recognize that peace cannot be found by chasing what constantly changes. It appears when they become honest with themselves. That honesty is opening a completely different path, one that feels calmer, clearer, and far more meaningful than before. The emotional weight they carried is becoming lighter with every passing moment. They are no longer trying to outrun their own feelings. Instead, they are allowing themselves to understand them. And that single decision is creating a ripple effect that reaches much farther than they realize. Something huge is waiting for you, but it isn't arriving through noise, it is arriving through quiet certainty. As this chapter closes, one truth stands above everything else. The news was never the final destination. It was the invitation to see life differently. The door that seemed closed has started opening from the inside, and every step forward now feels more intentional than the last. The story has entered a completely new season, one where hidden answers begin appearing naturally instead of being chased. Stay with me for a moment. As this unfolds, clarity will come. This may resonate as we continue. The next chapter uncovers the one realization that neither of you saw coming, and it has the power to change the meaning of everything you've heard so far. The story has now reached the moment where quiet thoughts become undeniable truths. What seemed like a simple piece of news has continued to grow inside your soulmate's heart, revealing layer after layer of understanding. Every day since then has felt different. Familiar places remind them of forgotten emotions. Ordinary moments suddenly carry extraordinary meaning. Stay with me for a moment. What is happening now isn't a coincidence. It is the result of countless small moments finally connecting into one complete picture. As this unfolds, clarity will come. The answers that once felt distant are no longer hiding, they are slowly stepping into the light. There is one realization they can no longer ignore. They spent so much time believing that happiness would appear somewhere far ahead that they overlooked the lessons already surrounding them. Now, those lessons are speaking louder than ever. They are beginning to appreciate honesty over uncertainty, peace over confusion, and genuine connection over temporary excitement. This may resonate as we continue. Because life has an unusual way of teaching us the most important truths only after we've stopped searching for shortcuts. The waiting was never empty. It was preparing both of you to recognize something meaningful when the time was right. The surprising part is that nothing dramatic needed to happen for everything to change. A different perspective became more powerful than any grand event. Their confidence is returning, not because every question has been answered, but because they finally trust the direction they are moving in. They no longer measure progress by speed. They measure it by peace. That quiet confidence is becoming impossible to miss. Every step forward feels lighter, every decision feels clearer, and every new day carries hope that wasn't there before. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is built on this foundation of clarity rather than uncertainty. As this chapter comes to a close, remember that the journey is still unfolding. The news that started everything has already transformed into something much greater than anyone expected. It became the beginning of a new outlook, a stronger heart, and a future filled with possibilities that once seemed impossible to imagine. Stay with me for a moment. As this unfolds, clarity will come. This may resonate as we continue. In the next chapter, the final missing piece quietly appears, bringing together every clue from the beginning and revealing why this turning point was destined to happen exactly when it did. Everything has been leading to this moment. The questions that once filled every quiet hour are no longer carrying the same weight. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that the news they received was only the first chapter of a much greater transformation. What once looked like an ending has become the beginning of a clearer path. Stay with me for a moment. There is still one final layer waiting to be revealed. Sometimes life waits until the perfect moment before allowing every hidden piece to fall into place. As this unfolds, clarity will come. And if this journey has kept you with us so far, don't forget to share this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about the moment that surprised you the most. Your support helps these stories reach others who may need a little hope today. The remarkable part is not how quickly things are changing, but how naturally they are unfolding. Your soulmate is no longer looking backward with regret. Instead, they are beginning to notice opportunities that were invisible before. Every lesson from the past now feels valuable rather than painful. Every delay now looks like preparation instead of disappointment. This may resonate as we continue. Because some answers arrive only after we become ready to understand them. What once felt confusing now carries purpose, and that purpose is quietly shaping a completely different future. There is one final realization that changes everything. The strongest connections are never built on perfect timing alone. They grow through patience, understanding, and the courage to see beyond temporary circumstances. That is exactly what is happening now. The emotional fog is lifting, revealing a picture that is far brighter than either of you could have imagined at the beginning of this story. Something huge is waiting for you, not because life suddenly became different overnight, but because the truth has finally found the right moment to be seen. Every chapter before this one was preparing for this quiet but unforgettable breakthrough. As this chapter reaches its close, remember the very first words you heard: "It's finally over." Now you know what they truly meant. The uncertainty is over. The endless guessing is over. The waiting without direction is over. What remains is a journey guided by clarity, hope, and new possibilities. Stay with me for a moment. As this unfolds, clarity will come. This may resonate as we continue. One final chapter remains, where every clue connects and the full meaning of this extraordinary story is finally revealed.